All right, we're all set. Let's do this. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my stream. I'm Pierre, your host. I hope you are all doing great, that you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. Anyways, today is pretty exciting because today we're actually going to finish this painting that we started several weeks ago. So that is always good news. It's a great moment. I thought I'd finish last Friday, then I thought I'd finish yesterday, and finally it looks like we're going to finish it today. So let's start off like we usually do by going over to the computer. Let's check out what we did yesterday, and then we'll tackle our day from there. So yesterday, it was pretty obvious. What we did is that we worked on this mandala. We added all the ingredients to get it, well, I'd say 90% done. And today we are just going to add on the last few colors that we need. So what are we going to do exactly to start off with? Well, we're going to start off by coloring these little white sperms. Then we're going to do these little planets with the shading of red. And then we're going to continue on the lower sperms. We're going to jump back and forth just because I don't want to get my hand in the painting and make a huge mess. So we're going to do that. I'm going to put a gold border, I guess, to this circle. And then I'm going to add little gold stars right between these purple sperms. So let's get to work right away. What I'm going to do first is put these the first coat, and hopefully the only coat, of this light purple first on these sperms, and then when we're all done, we'll go back and add some darker purple as a shading, just to give it more richness and depth. So let's not waste any time. Let me run over here, get a palette together, and start making my paint. Here's one that can do the trick. So I'll go over to camera number 1 because this always cracks me up. So I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. It's about this palette right here. As you can see, all I have to do to get a new palette is peel off this polymer emulsion, which is what's holding all the pigments together. And then when you just pull it off, it's nothing more than like plastic. It's amazing. That's what we work and paint with. I mean, I don't use oils. I use this stuff. And it leaves me with a brand new palette, just because the cap is non-porous, and of course acrylics do not stick to non-porous objects. So, that said, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to get my purple paint right here. I'm not going to need that much because obviously we don't have much of a surface here. If you add up all these sperms together, we probably have 2 square inches. So not very much. Let me grab my knife here. And let's put a little bit of this purple here. Even there, I didn't put that much, just a spoonful. And I'm sure that's too much as is, but no big deal. So let's rinse off our knife and keep that nice and clean. We're going to add some white paint to get that beautiful mauve lavender color. So here again, I'm putting way too much, but it doesn't matter. I'm excited. So when this painting is done, I'll have to put it on Instagram and ask people to give it a name. I always have a hard time naming my paintings. There we go. So I'm going to grab a larger brush at first just to make the mixture of the two colors. And I'm going to do that. Well, I guess we can do that together. I'll just come over here on camera number 1. where I have my stool right here. I'll just move this around, bring the camera over, and I'll lower it down here. So, as you can see, I have the purple here, the white here, and I'm just gonna bring the purple into the white right here because I want to make it a light lavender color. Because I have to keep in mind that as the paint dries, it will darken. That's why I try to always make it a little bit lighter than what my eyes and my brain sees. There, I'd rather just add little by little more and more purple just to get the right hue. There we go, that's pretty much a nice color right there. Nice lavender color. Maybe I'll just add a little more just to make it slightly darker. Yes, it looks nicer when it's just slightly darker for what we were going to do. Let me just blend this in so it's nice and homogeneous. There isn't much paint there, but we don't need that much, as I mentioned earlier. And this should definitely do the trick. There we go. So that's pretty cool. And let me bring the camera up and over here. I'm going to put it on a little bit on the side because I do not want to be in front of the lens. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this upper part where we're going to be working up first. So like that. And I am going to come back here to camera number 2 where I am going to pick the right paintbrush for the task. I assume this one is going to do the trick. Let me just wet it for a few seconds, wet those hairs. Now that they are wet, I'm going to get rid of the excess water to make sure that the paint stays nice and opaque. There we go. So, step back, take a look. I want to do these guys first, and then I'll do the red paint. Well, you know what? I am going to get the red paint ready right now. Like that, that will be done, and we can just switch back and forth from the sperms to the little planets without having to worry about anything else. So again, I'm going to take a little bit whiter brush, and I'm just going to mix a little bit of this red paint that I have on my cap here. I guess I'll add a little bit more. There we go. Again, I don't need much. It's going to be really just a little bit of paint. I'll zoom in the camera so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's put this away. Let me just add a little water and get this paint to be the right consistency to paint with. I don't want it to fight me. I want it to glide on that canvas beautifully with total control. And that can only happen if I have the right texture, right consistency of this paint, and if I have the right paintbrush. So, just going to work this back and forth, get it to be nice and creamy. Look at that, that's perfect right there. Okay, so we have that done. And so I have the paintbrush for the purple. I am going to get a paintbrush ready right now for the red paint, like that I can just switch back and forth very quickly. And I'm going to need a teensy weensy little brush for that, which is probably going to be this one right here. So I'll lay this on my red palette and I'll grab my purple one right now. So this is where I'm going to tackle this purple first, right in here. So let me just bring the camera down just a tad. There we go. And I'm going to switch over to camera number 1. Let's do that. Very good. There we go. By doing this first, it will, let me see if I can't zoom in without the camera getting too blurry, which it has a tendency to do, which is so annoying. There we go. And of course, when I put the shading on, I can catch up and make sure that everything works out perfectly. Well, there we go. Let's get this guy done too. All right. All right, very good. Jaman.
C'est beau, hein? Attention. Franchement, ça pète.
Ouais. Oops. Keep forgetting to move the camera. There we go. Let me just get that.
The camera is moving.
The camera.
I don't know why. Because ghost and the atelier shop.
Ils n'entendent pas malheureusement ce que tu dis.
Je sais, c'est pour ça que je me permets de parler anglais.
Heureusement.
Comme une vache italienne.
So now let's jump over and let's do the red, okay? Let's just get that little red shading in there. And I got a really tiny little brush for that. So I'm going to zoom in. Let's see. Okay. I can't tell if it's blurry or not. Looks like it's a little bit blurry. There we go. I'll get these guys as well. Very good. Very good. Now I can do all of these yellow-orange planets, yellow-orange planets, because I don't have to worry about the purple. There we go. So let's see if I can zoom in here. I mean, this camera is so annoying. that it goes out of focus like that. When I put the camera on manual focus, it goes out of focus. When I put it on automatic focus, it does the same thing. I have not found the right setting yet for this camera. And sometimes it doesn't even do it. It doesn't go out of focus, so I don't know. Kind of annoying. All right, so there we go. There we go. We have our little planets. And now I will go and finish off the purple. Just rinse off my little brush there. And I'm going to start up here and just work my way around the clock. Just like that. Very good. All right, and we'll get this last little spermatozoa. Perfect. Very good. All right, so let's pull this back. So I can put the red paint away. The purple palette I will set aside for the end of the day. And now we're going to jump to some gold, if I'm not mistaken. So, very good. So I'm going to start doing that first ring of gold. We might have to put on 2 coats, but it doesn't matter. We'll get that first coat done. Then I'm going to go around the frame and we'll work on all those little gold stars that I wanted to add. So let me get here's a nice palette with some purple as a background, which means the gold will stick out beautifully on that. And actually, I am going to switch golds. This is the basic by Liquitex, and then I'm going to go to PBO, because the PBO is slightly, well, maybe not. I had a feeling that this gold from basic was slightly red. It was like a red gold. This was more like a yellow gold. But by looking at it like this, side by side, I am not that convinced anymore. So I'm going to put it a little bit on the palette and take a little look at it. There's one, and I'm going to put the other gold right next to it and see if I can see a difference. Well, actually the Liquitex is yellower than the other one, which is kind of a reddish. So I got it all screwed up right from the beginning. For some reason I had a feeling that the gold was more yellowish than what it turned out to be. I'm very surprised about that. Okay, so I got that done. I have to find the right brush that I'm going to use to go around, and I'm probably going to use this brush right here, which is kind of a soft brush, which is what I want. Here's one, but it's a lot wider. I think I'll go with the slightly wider one. Okay, and just like before, I'm just going to mix some water with the paint, just so we make it a little easier to work with. I'm not going to put too much water because the gold has a tendency to not be very opaque. So I'm going to use it, and since I am going to be covering some black and purple, I want it to be really very opaque. So I am not going to water it down too much, hopefully just the right amount. So I'm going to work this out. I'm not going to bother going over to camera number 1 to do this. There's no point. It's not going to be that complicated. So this is a little thick still. Let me just add a little bit more water and work this out a little bit more. There we go. I'm not sure I'm going to have enough paint to go around the whole circle though, but it doesn't matter. Let's try this, and then we can always switch if we have to. Okay, so let's get this together here. What am I going to do? I'm going to move the camera back a little bit here. Go up here.
Hey, hey.
Hey.
Do you want some more rosemary? Or do you still have?
I don't have any.
You never had from me.
Yeah.
Ages ago. So, keep it all then.
All that?
Yes, of course, if you will use it.
Of course.
And then?
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's from the garden. You just take.
Super.
And that's it.
Rosemary from her garden. That's pretty awesome. Use that to cook. Yum, yum. Can't wait. So, where are we here? Let's get over to... Okay, I'm just going to go to the dual cameras for right now, like that. Okay, there's not going to be much talking during this phase. I am going to have to stay concentrated, so. I'm concentrating on the inner circle where the gold and the green meet. And I'll worry about the outer circle afterwards. All right, let's just keep working here. There we go. I wouldn't be surprised if I would have to put a second coat on. So let me just work this out now. Make sure it's the same width all the way around the painting. Okay, very good. All right, so what's this look like from afar? Doesn't look too bad. Just needs to be widened in right here a little bit. Just like that. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring my fan over here that I haven't used all winter long because it's been so damn cold. But I'm going to put the sucker on today just so it will dry a little faster so I can put that second coat on later on. There we go. So what does this look like now? Okay, it looks pretty good. Only place where it's a little bit narrower is right in here. Okay, not bad. And with that obsession of seeking out perfection, I'm going to add just a little bit more right in here. Just like that. Now what does that look like? Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good right there. It's a little thick. There we go. In some areas like right here and right here, it's not opaque enough, but once it's dry, I'll put a second coat and it will look great. So that's a relief. That is done. Now what? Well, now I'm going to just add these little stars in gold right around the frame. put my signature down, put that second coat of gold, and we'll be all done. So that's pretty cool. I got the gold all ready. What I need now is the right kind of brush for that. And this guy looks pretty damn good. I'll make sure it's going to be the right size. If it's not, it might be a little too big for what I want to do. If not, I will just change brushes, right? No big deal. Let me just work all this gold again. There we go. So I'm really surprised about this gold. I really thought it was kind of reddish, but when I compared to this one, which is definitely a lot reddish, God, iridescent, precious gold. Yeah, if you say so. Okay, so let me get camera number 1 ready up here. We're going to start on that upper left-hand corner and work our way around like I usually do, just so I don't get my hands in the paint. That looks pretty good. I'm going to move you over a little bit so you're not blowing in my neck. Don't want to catch cold neither. So let me just step back for 1 second. Get a little glass or a little drink of water. Chin chin, as they say in France. There we go. Okay, so gold stars. So let me just take a look here. I don't want them to be too big. So let's switch over to camera number 1. And let's see what we can do here. So I said I didn't want them too big. I am going to just step back to make sure it looks okay from afar. And that looks about the right size. I don't want to make them any bigger than that if possible. So let's continue. I'll zoom in again just so that when I make my little movie, my little recap, it will make more sense. Let me get this camera over there like that. There we go, very nice. And I'm going to do the same thing coming down this left-hand side of the frame. Right there. Maybe I'll zoom back a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to move the camera over, not to give you seasick, but just to seasickness, I should say. And I got to brush up on my English. Here we go. There, very good. So, I'll bring the camera over, work our way all the way around the top. I guess this is where we're going, right in there. I'll hurry up because I have the wind blowing in my back. There we go. Awesome, awesome. So let me get this camera over here a little bit. And I'll get these last little guys together. There we go. Very cool. Let's work our way down the right-hand side now. Here, we'll bring that camera down. Just like that. Very good. Okay, so let's do this. Very good. Remember to bring the camera down. That's pretty cool. I'm so lucky. There we go. Let's get this last one in there. Very good. So let's go back. Well, no, I guess we can continue here. What I am going to have to do, though, is get my chair just to be comfortable as I'm painting. There we go. So it does make a difference to bring out that fan. I can see the gold is almost already dry. So is the purple, so we can put the shading in. That is pretty awesome as well. I mean, the building that I'm in was built in the 17th century, so it's awfully damp, not heated all winter. So always looking forward to the summertime, even though it gets sweltering hot as well here in southern France in the city of Nice. So, but I'd rather be too hot than too cold, honestly. There we go. I think I can squeeze one more in right here. There we go, and I forgot to move the camera. Thank you very much, Pierre. Sorry about that, folks. So let's work our way down this left flank. Again, I'll bring my chair over. Oops. Okay. Just going to work the paint a little bit. Has a tendency to dry up. I guess that is the disadvantage of summertime. Everything dries quicker, including the paint that's on the palette. So, there we go. Where am I here? Oops, I don't want to be in the frame. So let me just move that over like that. There we go. There we go. Guess we can squeeze in one more. So the interesting thing is to know if my microphone will pick up the sound of the fan. I haven't thought of that. I did buy this new microphone, awesome microphone, around January, or no, maybe even later, February or March. So I've never really had it with the fan on, so I will have to test that later. And now that I think about it, I don't think I moved my camera either. So let me just bring this a little closer so I can zoom in properly. There we go. Yeah, painting with gold is not obvious. Not obvious at all. There we go. I guess I can squeeze in one more. Very good. Okay. Get back into the middle here. Come over here, my little camera. There you go. I'll zoom in down there. I will rinse off my brush because it was getting caked up in gold paint. There we go. Okay, very good. So where am I at here? Okay, so let's go to camera number 1. And the last one. Just like that. And I'll move over for that final little section right in there. And I think before I even do that, I am going to come up here and I'm actually going to sign this painting right now. Because I was going to sign it with gold paint. I got it in front of me. If I do the little stars first, then I'm going to put my hand in it, going to make a mess. So I'm going to do the signature first, and then I'll do the stars that are missing. So I'm going to try it with this paintbrush. Hope it's going to work out because you don't have to. I can't, I got to get it right that first time. So let's go for it. There we go. No spelling mistakes, I hope. Good. All right. And now we'll get back to our little stars. That will go right there. Very good. And the last one. Awesome. Okay, so got that done. Let us step back and see where we are at. Okay, I guess I can get the fan out of the way as well for a few seconds. I'll pull camera number 1 back as well. See where we're at. So yes, the frame looks so much better with those stars. Really. I'll just zoom in on one part of the frame, really. And I'll switch cameras so you can check it out. Really, that does look a lot nicer with all those stars shining with the sunlight. Very nice. Okay, so what am I going to do now? I'm going to do the darker purple shading of these sperms, and then I'll put another coat on the gold, on the purple, the gold, getting it all mixed up. So for that, I am going to need a very thin paintbrush, which is right here. This should do it. This is the one I use for the red, when I put the red on the orange. And it should work perfect for the shading of the sperms. So let me just get back to my little palette that I was using earlier with a bigger brush, well, not too big like this one, just to mix, and I'll do it with you. We can do this together here. I'll bring the camera down like usual. So this is the mauve that we used on that first coat. So let's just darken it up a little bit. Let me get some water right here. I have the water right there. So let me just, let's find a nice dark purple, beautiful, deep purple, as they used to say. Boy, I don't think many people under 50 know who Deep Purple is. Ever heard of that band? Do you think that we were that generation that thought we'd never get old? Wow. Oh, that's so funny. I remember this, I don't know, when I was 15 or 16, watching that show called Laugh-In. And there was this one skit with these hippies like in their 60s or 70s on a park bench. And I used to crack up thinking that will never happen. Well, obviously I was very naive. So this looks like a nice tint of purple, right? This one right here, that's quite beautiful. So let's go with that. It will darken, of course, as it dries, like I always say. So let me bring the camera back here. We'll come up here. I'm going to zoom in on these top sperms first. We'll start on the upper left-hand side, right there somewheres. See if I can get in like that without losing the focus. Damn camera. Okay, so so where am I? Okay, right here is okay, I'll start right here then. Just like that. All right. So you get the general idea. And I'll just work my way around. There we go. All right. I'll come back to these guys right here. Very nice. And it would be so perfect if I could just zoom in a lot on these last two sperms. Hopefully without it getting blurry. Just like that. All right, so let me move this camera back, see the whole thing. I'm going to step back as well, take a look at this painting after all. It's a good idea to see what's going on once in a while. All right, very good. So I am immediately going to add this gold, this second coat of gold on the inside in these areas that are a little, that need a second coat, right in here. Just like that. There we go. So let me just move this over for 1 second. I'm going to bring the fan over as well. So there is just one last touch I have to do to this painting so that I'm totally 100% satisfied. And that is to add a little bit of black paint, just a slither on this painting, and then I shall be satisfied. So what do I need? I need my knife here, a palette. I really don't need that much. Like, that's even way too much. There we go. Let's keep this nice and clean. There we go. And I'm going to use this whiter brush again just to get the right. I want this black paint to be like ink. I want it to flow very easily. And I don't have to worry about opacity because it is black and it will stay opaque. So actually I am being so stingy that I'm going to have to add some more paint. There we go. Yeah, I think this is a good move, well worth it. I think it's the little extra that nobody will ever notice, but just will make me feel so much better. So there we go, got the paint already. Nice texture to it. It's like black Chinese ink. Now I need the right paintbrush. And I have one that is so thin that I can't even see it. That's how thin it is. There it is. Okay. Boy, I only got like 6 hairs to it. That is thin, all right. So, let's do this. I'll bring the camera in closer so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to be in this upper left-hand corner. Right there. Let me shut off this fan that's blowing in my brain. There we go. There we go. It's very discreet. It's not much there, but it does make all the difference in the world. Just gotta step back for a few seconds and take a look. Okay, I think it needs just a little bit more right up here. good. Very good. Just a little bit of fixing right here. There. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom right-hand corner. Right down below, right in here. Oops, what the hell am I doing? I'm watching the painting instead of watching the camera. Okay, so right in there. I guess we can go to the dual cameras for this. Just like that. Just like that. Voila. Very good. When it dries, it'll be more discreet because it won't have that reflection of the window shine on it. So, let me pull this back. Let me get everything back into order here. Let me get this out of the way as well. I'll bring camera number 1 back here so we have an overall view of the painting finished. There we go, just like that. And I'll just zoom in with camera number 2 a little bit as well, so we can have an overview of the whole thing as well. So this is the view then from camera number 2. And then this is the view from camera number 1. I'm going to have to think about this. I'm not sure about that gold ring around the mandala. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to leave it like that. But then again, I've never done a painting like this before either. So I'm not used to looking at it. I'm not sure. I need to like kind of sleep on it a little bit. Check it out over the weekend. Well, over the weekend, I keep thinking we're Friday. We're only Tuesday, even though I won't be in tomorrow. There will be no streaming tomorrow. And then Thursday, we'll roll up this canvas, unroll a new one, and start a new painting. So that'll be fine on Thursday. And of course, there is one thing I forgot to do that I'm going to do right now. And I'll bring this camera over so you can see what I'm talking about. And it's going to be right in the center of our mandala. Right in the center. Right in here. Just a teensy-weensy little star. Just like that. Okay. So, there's our baby. Theoretically, the painting's all done. So, once again, show you from camera number 2. And camera number 1. And from the front. So, very good. Well, that concludes today's painting. Very, very cool. I'm happy. 3 weeks of work all done. So that's pretty cool. So, like usual, I'm going to take a few seconds to give thanks and praises to the forces of nature and for being alive that we take for granted so often. So, once again, I want to thank you for joining me. It's been a real pleasure. I hope you'll join me on Thursday. Though Thursday we'll be streaming on Facebook Live, and we'll be streaming in French like we always do on Thursdays. So it's a good time for you to brush up. What we're going to do is roll up this painting, unroll a new canvas, staple it to the wall, put our first coat of gesso, and it'll be a relatively very short stream, usually 15-20 minutes, and we're done. So that's usually how our new paintings always start off. So once again, I want to thank you for joining me. I'm going to leave you with two things. I'm going to leave you with my schedule and by saying, ciao mes amis.